Broadcast live.
Coming to you live.
We're live
From the basement of an abandoned training facility where we talk about fighting, training, and events. It's the Fight Mixer Show on the Three Beards Podcast, where you can hear about all the local and world combat sports happenings. Get ready. It's time to gear up and square up because we're going
Broadcast live.
All right.
Thanks for live.
Technical difficulties there, but hey. So welcome to the Fight Mixer Show on the Three Beards Podcast. My name is Craig, along with me, Chris, Austin, and coming to us live, fighting out of the red corner, it is Jessica, the Black Widow Borga.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, thanks for. So, see, you're fighting out the red corner because you're in friendly territory. There you go. So, there you go. Well, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And joining us, Joe Wilk, guest MMA, bare knuckle boxer, color commentator.
Bingle.
Lost your shirt in the process.
She's not.
Let me get my shirt on real quick. Hold up.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I know Debbie's watching. I said, thanks, Debbie. She got us in touch with you. We really appreciate that because when we started this off, we kind of dabbled in it. We got Martin Brown and Jeremy Davis, and then we found we actually really enjoyed doing this. And as this came along, we were doing this, and the whole time I'm like, we got to get more and more. And then she jumped in and she started throwing these names at us. I'm like, oh my god. And so started going through there. And then when you said yes, I'm like, this is happening. This is really starting to happen. I'm like, we're starting to get names that are showing up, and I'm like, this is awesome.
And she would definitely be the one to refer them over. She knows everything about it.
And then, so first question, like I had, who gave you that nickname, or what came the Black Widow? How'd that come about?
Well, I've killed my ex-husband, so I mean, I'm just kidding.
I'll roll with it. Everybody from now on, respect.
Into the tiger.
Hey, I'm not saying anything about it.
I'm kidding, obviously. My coach actually gave me the nickname. It's funny because at first when he gave me the nickname, I did not know why he really gave it to me. I thought he just saw the tattoo of the Black Widow on the back of my neck, and that's where I got it. And so I didn't actually know why he actually named me that for a while. And finally he was like, I was like, so you didn't name me because of the Black Widow on the back of my neck, the tattoo? And he's like, no, you beat up guys on a regular basis. He's like, you're a blonde chick that walked into the gym and they thought they could just throw you around, and you ended up throwing them around.
Now, what belt do you have in jiu-jitsu?
Brown belt.
Brown belt.
Hey.
Are you close to black? Or are you?
I just got brown belt in November. I want to say it was November. And I've only actually been doing it for 5 years, but I've excelled fast because I'm always there. I'm always training. So that's amazing. Congratulations.
Females are a lot easier to teach. You guys are just smarter than us and not as stubborn.
What's going on?
There's not as many either. So the people that you go up against, I feel like the guys have a lot more to go through. The women, there's not as much to compete against. So I feel like that's another thing too. Not that I can't go with the guys, but yeah, I don't think that we're unnecessarily smarter all the time.
All the time. You gave me
I'm only a white belt. I mean, like I said, I've got hardly any. I've got maybe 3 months. Under the belt rolling around. But I have to tell you, just for me getting that awkward phase, that first time I was paired up with a girl in the class, that felt so awkward. Because here, me and my wife were in the same class, and I'm sitting here rolling with another. Yeah, so I'm rolling with her the whole time. So usually I'm like, please partner me up, my wife, please. No, I'm with this other girl. I'm like, going, God, this is awkward. I'm like looking over. I'm like,
Are you gonna kill me later? Are you gonna kill me?
Everybody's like, you shouldn't be afraid to roll. I'm like, no, I wasn't afraid rolling with the girl. I was just, It was the fact that it was another girl. Yeah, it was same age. So I'm just like, I'm like, Sarah, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
You're gonna get choked when you get home.
No, it was good. It was good.
The rear naked.
You got to learn separation. You got to learn that you can't start mixing those things. Like, I have a lot of female students, and I have also, like, as opposed to a lot of other gyms, like, my guys and girls don't sleep together. Essentially, like, it's against my rules because it creates too many problems. And but yeah, it's actually, like, once you learn to separate it, it's the same thing with, like, a dude sitting on your face when he's trying to, like, put you in an arm lock. It's like that you got to learn to separate. The most effective way to fuck somebody up is to, like, be really, really close, attached to them, sitting on their head or strangling them while they're in your lap. It's like, it is what it is, but you got to just learn the separation. I think that's something that takes a little bit of time, though. Usually, like, the first time a girl walks into class, I'm like, here's the position. This is called the guard. And they're like, did you just make this shit up? Like, wrap my legs around your waist. This is how we're going to do this. Like, I'm like, no, this is real. Like, I promise.
I get asked that a lot if people think sexually before, like, if they have any, like, sexual thoughts or tendencies before rolling with me. I was like, I don't know if they do, but I guarantee they're going to forget it whenever I'm choking them out.
That was me. When Master K, he's sitting there, he goes, all right, okay. It's like, get in the full mount. I'm like, oh my God, this is so awkward. And then it wasn't even 30 seconds later, she had me in an arm bar. And like I said, at that point, I'm tapping out. I'm like, any thoughts that how awkward this was immediately like, holy crap, she just kicked my ass. I'm like, oh my God, I'm all right. I'm out.
Yeah, I've always been really careful. I think that, like, you got to be really careful about getting your wires crossed on that stuff. Like, you don't need to be taking your jujitsu into the bedroom or your bedroom into the gym. I think that, like, and I'm being serious. That's not like it is funny, but I'm not joking because I just think that you got to learn the separation of the two things. Cause when you're so physically close with somebody too, it's also really easy to think about crossing lines, and you've already been through, like, some awkward shit. So, but yeah, I think that, like, it's a good point that you brought up. It's something that people don't talk about nearly enough is just keeping that separation. It's awkward to talk about. Like I said, I always tell everyone, I'm like, look, like, when you teach, like, I'm talking about, like, Kimura. So, like, you're, like, literally straddling somebody's head when you do Kimura, right? And so, like, when you watch people, they start doing the technique and you'll see everyone, like people are up on their foot, like, giving all this space while they're doing the time. Like, look, get used to this shit. If you do it like that, they're going to escape 1000% of the time. You need to set on the motherfucker's head if you want to get this shit done. You just got to get past it if you want to effectively whip ass. That's all there is to it.
So what's your favorite aspect of BJJ, Jessica?
Honestly, I like the challenge. It's like a chess game. There's always something to learn. There's always something new that you can do or do differently. So I love the challenge. The challenge is what it keeps me intrigued. There's always learning. Even when you turn black belt, you're like a brand new white belt right over again. I love it. Yeah,
because that fight on Bellator, that girl, I was one of the things I was going to want to talk to you about, because during the weigh-in, man, she was full on straight trying to intimidate you. Like, look, I'm like 7-8 inches taller than you. I'm looking down at you, leaning in, and you're just like.
It does not. I don't get intimidated. I don't know. Yeah. She tried her best to intimidate me, though. She actually she's already 6 foot. Let's just, like, throw that out there. You're already 6 foot. I'm 5'7". I know you're already taller than me, but she also wore, like, pumps that were like 2 inches almost taller. And I actually had long boots that actually had heels on it to weigh in because it worked with my outfit. It looked good. But I purposely decided not to wear the boots just to make myself as short as possible. I was like, that's fine. You can look as tall as you want. I was fine.
Now, you see, you weighed in on that fight, 144. How much of that was that belt buckle on that belt? There's so many metal studs on that belt. That belt had to weigh 6 pounds.
At official weigh-in, I didn't have that on. So I probably was already probably 150 at that time.
I saw this, like, I'm about 2 pounds underweight. I got to get up there. It's like, all right, add some more studs to that belt.
That would have done it.
Yeah, I just saw that thing. I'm like, good God, that belt's got to be heavy. Jeez. A big belt buckle.
On top, though, so even it out.
Yeah. But that was, I said that was impressive. And then, I mean, right into the fight. I mean, it's like it was kind of like that all was out the window. It's just like what Joe was talking about, where she was so sloppy on that on the grappling. She was putting her arm out there, and I could tell that you had the training because you instantly. I'm like, it was just like like a halo came out, and you're just like, look at that! You hooked it. You hooked it. Yeah, you hooked it. You immediately grabbed the arm, flipped over, put your leg out there, and just boom, and it was just tapped. I mean, it was perfect armbar.
She's supposed to be a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and she had her head out. Granted, I had the arm really tight whenever I kicked her over, but she still, if she was, I feel like if she was a little bit better at jiu-jitsu, she could have got out of that. It was risky, but I had it very tight, and she knew that. That's why she tapped so fast. But but all in all, I mean, she it was a good fight. It was a good fight.
Yeah, it was. No, go ahead, Chris.
So your 427 fight, 2018. You went the distance, but no.
Is this the one that my jaw was broken?
Oh, your jaw was broke. Yeah, your jaw. You broke your jaw was broke.
My jaw was broke all 3 rounds. Oh, well, the beginning of the second round, my nose was broke the first round. So I actually fought. Yeah, I have 2 titanium plates in my jaw now.
That is pain. That is pain tolerance. Couldn't tell you were hurt, but you gave her the distance.
Hold up, respect.
My boss, my coach in the corner. I hit it from him, and he was like, at the end of the, after they called it or whatever, I was like, I'm sorry, coach. I was like, my jaw was broke. Like, my mind was not functioning the way it was supposed to in order to finish the fight. It was just to survive. So
I had mad respect for Macy, after that Roxanne, fight for doing that. You just jumped that quite a bit with the fact my nose and then my jaw, and I still win. I'm like, holy God. I mean, at that point, it's like there's had to be so much going on up here.
Yeah, it's so weird because when you're in the middle of it, like you want to be like, well, my coach asked me, well, why'd you keep fighting? I was like, because I wanted to fucking win. Like, what other reasoning besides that? Like I'm gonna keep fighting until I don't know.
Yeah, because it's just like for me, it's like the pain I know you can work through, but it's like the focus. It's like you think it's so much time. It's like don't hit me there, and trying to cheat away from it. That it's just like, I mean, that's man. I just like I said, that's up.
Let me tell you this. This is controversial, so let me just warn you. I'm against women's MMA because you guys are too damn tough for your own good. I feel like women are so stubborn and tough. I'm kidding. I'm obviously not. I train female fighters, but like when I watch these fights, sometimes I was live at in Vegas when Thug Rose fought Paige Van Zandt, and I was like, well, first of all, I was fucking higher than fucking giraffe ass, but I was like, they can't just fucking keep going. They can't. Like, what are they doing? And it was the first time Rose had shaved her head. I was like, that little kid's beating the shit out of that girl. And I was like, dude, I was sitting there going like, who is not stopping this fight? She got like, have you seen that fight? That's like one of the worst one-sided ass whippings I've seen for fight.
I'm gonna have to now. Yeah.
But I noticed it's something about women in MMA, and I'm not just saying it. It seems like they'll just sit there close quarters and just trade shots. It's either you're gonna knock me out or I'm gonna knock you out. I'm gonna submit you. You're gonna submit me. But they trade. That's what he just said. Y'all will sit there and just trade it out. The man know. Hey, we know we're in that fire, so we're gonna try to get out of it for a minute. But y'all will sit there and just trade, and I'm like, oh my God, they just sit there and trade with each other.
Hey, have you ever argued with a girl before? It's just fighting and arguing is the same thing, right? Like I'm trying to.
You're never gonna win.
I'll just talk shit and then hang the phone up. Girls want to be in the argument, bro. They want to stay in that argument.
So kind of like in that, what's your favorite part of like the pre-hype before the fight? Is it the presser or is it the weigh-in?
Weigh-in, definitely. I get to see her. I get to like be right up close and personal with her. That gets me amped to a new level.
Yeah, because once I saw it, like I said, there was no emotion. It was just stone face and just stared at her. And it was just like, I don't care what you're going to do. It's like,
Yeah, I told my boyfriend right after the weigh-in because of how hard she like tried to intimidate me and how mean she was the entire time through the whole thing. When she saw me in the hallway, she was very disrespectful the entire time. She was posting things on Facebook and Instagram like, "I'm gonna kill a hoe," and yeah, she'll never make me break. Like, these are legit things that she said online. I'm like, all right, I get the hype. I get it. I'm not a big talker. I like for my actions to speak louder than my words, but.
I'm sorry I didn't get to trade blows with her, but man, I mean, that's poetic justice that you armbarred her. I mean, one of the worst.
I told him, I said, when that cage door shuts, there's nothing that she can say because it's her and I in that cage. That's it. That's the only thing that she has to worry about. She's not getting away from me. And it's funny because most of the time I win by, ground and pound. So the ref stops it. I specifically told my coach and, my boyfriend that's also in my corner. I specifically told them, I said, she says I can't break her. I said, so I am not going to have the ref pull me off of her. That's the first time I've got to show jiu-jitsu because I was going to either break her arm or break her will. Like, I was going to make her either tap or break her just to prove a point.
It didn't take long to make her tap, but you wasn't going to just pound her out like you normally do. You just made her, I'm going to make her tap.
Yeah, because I thought that I could have finished her just like constantly giving her elbows or whatever. But I was like, nope. No, well, I'm gonna submit.
So you go return it. You go choke that hoe.
Yeah, I choked. Yeah, either one. Choke.
So going back to your weigh-in, we're talking about one of your fights was, I forgot her name, was in France, and the commenters were like, or the commentators were like, oh man, she was 138.5 and the fighter was 135, but they're okay with it. I'm like, is that going to be a fucking problem? 1 or 2 pounds?
Yeah, and it was 10 days notice for me. It was a short notice fight that I took in 10 days. So, and granted, that was my last 135 fight, but I still took it, and that's why they were okay with it, I guess, because I didn't have a lot of time to cut the weight for it. But I was also on vacation.
It's 1 pound. Like, you get a 2 pound, right? You get 2 pound leeway. What is that going to do? 1 pound? Seriously, with 2 pounds, is that really going to give an advantage to you?
It won't.
I don't like that rule.
Honestly, I cut so much that I couldn't cut anymore, so that actually gives her an advantage, or it should anyway, usually, because bad weight cuts can affect your performance. Not to say that one did, but I also had just had surgery on my jaw 2 months before that. So, and she's a champion boxer.
God.
So.
Yeah. Hey, so like something that like I can answer that from like a fighter's perspective. I'm sure she'll agree with me. Is that I don't think it's the difference of the person being a pound heavier when you fight them. I think that the argument for people is the difference of that if you cut those 2 extra pounds and put your body through that, and they didn't, and you don't recover as much as them. I think that has more to do with it than like if you're looking at it like a weight discrepancy during the fight. I don't think that's what fighters are thinking. I think they're more thinking like, motherfucker, I cut. The extra
you cut,
so I think that's more the argument. But yeah, short note. I've taken a lot of fights on short notice. If it's not up a weight class, I've always asked for a catch weight. I'm like, I'll do it. Like when I was fighting at 45, I took some short notice fights, but I was like, I'll do it, but I'm doing it at 50. Like I'll meet you in the middle, but I'm not gonna like kill myself trying to do it in 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I probably should. My coach, he probably should have been like, we could do a 140 at that kind of like that close. But I really honestly thought that I was going to be able to make it. I wasn't too far off, but it was, far off for what I thought I could make. But it was a little harder than anticipated.
Sometimes it comes off, and sometimes you get stuck. Man, sometimes your body will literally quit sweating. I've seen people like
that's what mine
your
was.
body is like. It's done. You can be in the sauna, you can be running, you can do whatever, and you're bone dry. Like your body will literally not have any more sweat to give at a certain point, And I went 85 to 55 in 12 days one time for a short notice fight. And
can you show me how to do that?
What's that?
Can you show me how to do that? I need to lose.
You don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it. I promise.
You got the master diet plan. I need to do that.
Hey,
I'm so
right.
The comeback was way worse. I went 85 to 55 in 12 days, but I went 55 to like 205 in like 6 days.
That's what happens if you cut that weight that fast. You have a harder time cutting the next time because your body wants to hold on to everything. You've just starved it into like depriving it of everything. So it
dude, like a lot of people don't see that side of it, but when I used to go down to 45, we talked about this in the last show. when I used to go down to 45, I'd have to cut 15 or 16 pounds a day of weigh-ins to make that weight all the time. I can only get down to about 160. And then after I would my body would hold on to stuff so bad, I would bloat so bad that I couldn't wear shoes. My feet would swell up so bad I couldn't go anywhere because I couldn't put shoes on. So I'd have to put on flip-flops, but my flip-flops are so tight they'd dig into my feet and leave. And you don't know, man. You could put fingerprint. If you push your finger into my foot, the indention would stay. You could it didn't come out. It was it's weird, man. Your body reacts badly to that shit.
So did you have anything scheduled before COVID, or what you got coming up? We'd love to come see you.
I was supposed to hear of something either on May 29th or June 6th, either in Chicago or California. And then a week later, this happened. I'm like, that sucks so bad. I don't think I've ever been out of the cage this long. Even through injuries, I don't think it's been this long out of the cage, and I don't really like that. It won't affect me either way, but I don't like it.
So you're
go ahead. Yeah, Craig.
So are you looking at anything in Florida? I mean, do you like fighting in Florida, or you just want to go out of town and get that bag and come back home?
I freaking love fighting in Florida. I would love to have my friends and family there like they were an amateur. I think I fought in Florida as pro two times in Florida, different places in Florida. But man, Bellator doesn't come to Florida really, so I'll go wherever they want me to go. But it'd be nice to.
Bellator used to do Tampa. Hey, you know what? By the way, everyone likes fighting in Florida because they don't take that tax money. One of my fighters won the Bellator tournament. The finals were in Tampa, and so he got that real check, the big check, and with no taxes out. So that was fucking.
I would love to be able to fight in Florida, and now that Florida's kind of opening the doors for the pro sports, I'm hoping that maybe there would be an option there. Maybe they can come to my territory. That'd be nice.
There you go.
And what's your territory? Tampa area?
Close enough, Lakeland. So
okay,
Lakeland.
There you go.
Now, I was one of the things for fights. I saw that you have a preferred song. Is it still hungry?
No, I change it every time. It's whatever song gives me goosebumps at the moment.
Which one is that at this time?
Well, whatever song speaks to me, anything that I've gone through or whatever. Usually it is Adelita's Way. I like that band. They're a good band. But whatever one, the music actually means a lot to me. I don't know how many fighters actually even pay attention to that. I don't know. It gets my mind switched on to a certain crazy side, I guess you can say, whenever I go out there.
I mentioned before the show about that interview you had with from MMA UK, and she had brought that one, and I don't know if a lot of people have thought about this. She had said, hold back. Don't just bolt out there and walk down a thing. Stay back and let your music play, because they're going to play that as long as you don't have a set time that you have to walk down that thing. If you want your music played, just walk. And so have you started doing that?
It's so hard because I'm so ready to get in there. I try to go slower and take in the moment and everything, but in all honesty, your brain is mine just shuts off. It just shuts off to everything around me. I do love the crowd, but I'm usually in the enemy territory, so they usually boo me anyway. So I'm all right.
I always when I'm at the curtain with my fighters and their music hits, I literally don't let them go out right away, and I'm in their ear about it, and I'm like, hey, let him marinate. Let your music play. Let him wait for you. And they've literally never started a fight without the other guy, right? Without the other fight. You don't have to hurry up, and you need to. And that's exactly what you're talking about. Is that I want to beeline out there, right? Like BJ Penn, just run and kick my shoes off and jump out. But at the same time, I feel like on the mental aspect, if you can let yourself relax through that. Literally enjoy your I've always done ring entrances, I do crazy WWE ring entrances and stuff, and it just helps me relax and be in the moment. And so I think, and then the other thing is the other guy or girl is sitting out there, because at the end of the day, fighting is very nerve-wracking. You're trying not to shit but trying to look tough at the same time. But if you take your time and you're smooth walking out, right, and the other person's fucking all hype, I swear to you, they're going to be going, man, he don't look nervous. you don't look as nervous as I am. You know, like boom, mental edge.
So that's the biggest mental game when you just humble out there, walk down. They're like, oh shit, he's not even scared.
Yeah, I think that. Well, that's the thing. I think that coming up, I was scared, especially early. I was fucking shaking, scared. But I was like, if they see that, then they're gonna have an edge. So I just like went the opposite way and acted like hella hard, you know, and like and it always seemed to work for me. So I can kind of convince myself that I'm tough if I get in the groove.
Now you don't have the typical off time that most MMA people do. I mean, you know, you got the photo shoots, you know, the magazine covers and stuff. I mean, I know like that interview I said I watched. That was a one-time help out a friend bikini shoot that you did. You know, that's not a normal thing, but some of the modeling, like, you know, some of the other shots, do you seem to do that on a regular basis, like the magazine covers?
Yeah. My best friend, Kelly Somerville, she's one of my sponsors, but she's like my best friend. So she's really fun. She comes up with these ideas and she's like, hey, we've got to do this shoot. So I'm like, hell yeah, like I'll do it. Like I'm game for that. I like doing it with her because it's enjoyable. It's fun. And what she comes up with is like true talent. So I love her ideas. I'm game for all kind of stuff. And I do enjoy it.
Yeah, the one we used for the promo. It's like it's like the way it was done, everything was the way you made it was really classic, like I said, with the gloves and the way those shots were. That was a really nice photo shoot. I don't is that the kind that you really like to do? Is that type? Yeah,
I want like something like strong but beautiful, like that look that she can always come up with. Whatever she comes up with, it always puts those, you know, strong and beautiful together. So it's really cool.
Nice.
It's awesome to see that she put it together.
And then the one thing, like I said, is dear to my heart. I said, I'm an animal lover, or, you know, got a couple of dogs and stuff. You're a vet tech.
Yeah, I've been in the veterinary medical field for like 15 years. So now I'm mostly surgeries, which is kind of funny because I had the 2 titanium plates put in my jaw, and I've put in plates in dogs for years. So, oh look, I see a dog.
Yeah. How hard?
There you go.
How hard is, you know? Because I've talked to, you know, a few people that are into it. It's like for me, you know, it's like without taking on too many emotions. It's like that's one of the things, like veterinarian. That's got to be some of the hardest things is when you have somebody coming in with their world and they're like, help me.
Yeah, and people, I'm telling you, some of them like them more than their children. So people really take their animals seriously. But yeah, that's the hard part of the job, I guess. But your body kind of gets accustomed to it. It sounds bad, but you kind of get numb to it. So you shut that part of your emotion off, and you kind of get numb to it after a while. At first, it's, you know, it's like, man, this is really sad. The sad parts are sad, you know, the happy parts are happy, but you kind of shut off that switch. It kind of sounds bad. It sounds like I've like shut off my emotion, but
I know exactly where you're coming from. I worked for the funeral home for a while. You're going to pick up people's loved ones, and you're like, okay, this is just another one for tonight. I mean, I feel your pain, but I'm just here to do a job. You know, I'm sorry, but you know, so I feel like.
No, that's cool. Yeah, so I wanted to bring that up. Yeah, Steve's been, you know, so it's like, you know, talk about that. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I knew about that. I was pretty impressed. It's like not only you got your MMA career, you're also balancing, you know, that, you know, personal life. You know, you've got your son. So I mean, you've got a lot on your plate as well as trying to train.
Yeah, I do a lot. I juggle a lot, but I kind of like it. I'm better under pressure. So the constant staying busy, I prefer it.
Nice. And then still trying to keep the kid off the Xbox, PlayStation.
Yeah. I'm not a big. I don't allow him to really play video games. I tell him to go outside and get dirty.
There's not enough of that anymore. Like my neighborhood, I look outside, I see no kids outside. I'm like, that's not what we did as kids. We were outside. You better get home for the street light. Come on.
Yeah, you're not gonna make memories sitting on a video game. You're gonna get fat.
Like, well, I talked to him on Fortnite over the thing. No. Go outside and try to beat the streetlights home like we did. Pop. Okay, I'm here. I'm there. So,
go skin your knees up a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, Craig.
Yeah.
You can hear me? All right. So I've always watched Ultimate Fighter back in the day, and me and my girlfriend just watched. For some reason, Hulu only has 18 and 19, so it's really stupid. But the first season we watched was Misha versus versus Ronda Rousey. And it's the first time they had women in fighting. And she watched it. My girlfriend's like, so if men and women, and Joe can attest to this too, men and women are the same weight, why won't they fight each other? And also, why did it take so long for women to get into fighting?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't understand. Like, I've actually asked to fight a guy. They said that was against the rules. I don't really know why it's against the rules. Besides that, I mean, a man is a man and a woman is a woman. I get that.
I think it's a visual.
Tournaments, we go against each other. Like, if there's no other women in your weight class, you go against guys in, jiu-jitsu. But you got to take into aspect, a man is a man. And just like the gender, that's not fair, technically. So just don't get upset if you lose against a man, and don't get upset if you lose against a woman.
It's probably not so much whether or not who could win. It's probably more of the visual. Like if the guy was on there and just pounding away, that would be the headline right there. This fight group is promoting men beating women, and I would just that's the only thing I could see is why that would be a
poor headline.
Hey, look, here's the thing. There are girls out there that can beat guys, right? And I, I'm an equal opportunity ass whipper, so like I'll fight fucking anybody, right? It doesn't matter to me at all. I've told you I'm not picky with my fights or my women, right? But here's the thing. In reality, man, I was raised by my mom. I got 3 sisters, and you can't normalize male on female violence. That's the truth. If you start putting that out there as a sport, then especially like children, right? When I was a kid, I thought it was okay to powerbomb fucking people because I watched pro wrestling. I didn't realize like that's not okay, right? So you can't normalize something, especially to children and to society, because like there's no and there's just no situation other than training where a male should ever put his hands on a female. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't think it'll ever happen. Although I'm kind of sad that it won't, because I think it would be dope. Because I think that like women are very empowered. I see it happening all the time. I think women overall, and I think fighting and you guys were talking about Ronda and stuff like that. That's such an empowering thing for women. And I think that like a great step in that would be like the Billie Jean King tennis match, right? Like back in the day. Yeah, I think that'd be dope if somebody, especially like if somebody was running their mouth and then the right female got in there and beat his ass, it would sure like turn a lot of heads. But again, I just think that we can't normalize male on female violence at all. So
yeah.
No,
I like how Steve said that, where she beats me up all the time. It's like one of those, Steve stepped out of line and she just looks at you like, really? You want to do this right now?
I'm not a man beater unless it's in the gym.
So no, you turned down a UFC contract. And so it was one of those, and we talked about this a little bit with our guests that we had on earlier tonight about weight cuts. And that was, they wanted a massive weight cut from you.
Yeah. I haven't fought at 125 in a long time because of how bad the weight cut was. I cut like 25 pounds in 2 weeks, and I was in the hospital 3 times after that fight. It was my first loss, and it sucks. Like, if I can't perform like I'm supposed to, there's no way in hell I'm going out on one of the biggest stages in the world, or the biggest stage in the world, the Contender Series, and not putting on a show that I know damn well that I can put on. So it sucks to turn down. Trust me, I thought about it. I thought about like, I can do this. I can do this. I can't do this. Like, there's not any point in it.
So why did they come at you like that? I mean, do you have any idea why they came at you with such a fight?
I used to fight at 125. I used to fight, and I was still 135er at the time, so they probably didn't think that it was much of a difference, I guess, or it wasn't that bad of a weight cut, but it really is really hard for me to cut to 125. Very hard.
Which is weird because especially at that body size, to go from 135 to 125, I mean, that is body altering size change. I mean, that is a lot. I mean, myself going from I'm 270. So if I lose 10 pounds, not going to be a lot, maybe this might disappear.
I have to cut some of the muscle I have, and which, I mean, it just takes longer to cut muscle than it does fat. So it's not an easy process to cut that muscle. And it's not a safe process. Like he said, there's no point in trying to kill myself over it. I want to be able to put on a show. So
you just think about that, right? Like exactly what we were talking about. Like that used to be, we got to a certain point in my fight camps for 145 where we were like, all right, we need to eat into some of this muscle. and get the weight down. And then I'm like, I look back on that, I'm like, what the fuck were we doing? We're athletes. I'm literally trying to have less muscle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the fat's gone, let's lose some muscle. Fuck that. Like, just like, if you're doing that, you need to fight up one. You know what I mean? That's why I started at 55, and then I made the move down to 45. And then, you know, I realized, like, obviously realized that wasn't healthy while I was in the hospital, but made the move back to, you know, to 55. And now I can also, as long as I stay in shape, I can take I need an 8 week notice basically to get to 45, 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And like 55, you give me like 3-4 weeks, I'll see you there, you know? So like, it also keeps me like more active and more able to jump on fights. So.
Yeah, that's the reason why I went up to 145, because I pretty much walk around 150. So there's not much of a cut there between 150 and 160, depending on quarantine or not.
Yeah.
So usually I'm fairly close to it, and I can take a short notice fight. That's what I want. I want to be ready on weight if a short notice comes up, and I want to be at my best and feel my best, even if I have to cut a few pounds fast. So that's why 145. I'm happy with that. I fight guys all the time in my gym that's, you know, way more than that. So I'm the only girl. I'm not worried about the weight cut or the weight that we fight at.
You talk about this on a couple of the shows, but should there be more emphasis on encouraging people to go up weight as opposed to down, just because, you know, for the health reasons now? Because both of you guys have described just, you know, I've had some serious health problems doing these massive drafts. So, I mean, should there be more incidents like, okay, you're 144, you should be looking at this class as opposed to looking at 135?
Yeah, I think so. I think that people should walk around closer to what they fight at. That way you can take fights at short notice or whatnot, but you're also healthier. You can fight more often. You don't have to worry about cutting so much weight and taking that blow to the head when you're not fully hydrated back. And it's just, I mean, to me, it just is way easier if you fight at the weight class that you are almost walking around at.
Yeah, I think, I totally agree. You know, we talked on the last show that I was on here that I think if you can be single digits and hydrated, I think that you're okay. So like, you know, for like 55, if you can be, and you get a pound, so 56, right? So if you can be 65 or under hydrated, I think it's doable and it's safe, and that's okay. I think that if you're doing anything double digits or any of that drastic stuff, I think you really need to think about your long-term brain health. You know, not even just like my issue is a kidney issue, but there can also be you know, like we talked about, brain issues. Dehydrated brains don't take blows as well as they should, and there's definitely we're learning as we go. If you guys, I mean, like, I'm not probably telling you guys anything you don't know, but 93, like, the first fights in the UAE, like MMA fights, it hasn't been that long. That seems like forever ago, but it's a relatively new sport still. So we're learning. We're learning, and I think that I think people are caring less. You know, people are jumping weight classes more. People are moving up to weight classes a lot more. But I will tell you guys, man, you know, one of the reasons I went to 45, you guys, I'll give you two fighters that I'm good friends with that you guys know, because they're in the UFC and famous. With James Krause and Drew Dober. I've trained with those guys a bunch. Came up with those guys, and we were all fighting 155. Okay, but if you saw me standing next to them, you would understand why I decided to go down to 45. These Drew Dober. If you guys look at this, they tried to like suspend him. They tried to implement a new rule on him at the UFC. He weighed in at 156, and then they did whatever state they were in. They did a pre-fight weight check, and he was 88. The next day, the next fucking day, like and he was six pack and jack. Like he wasn't like it. That's how drastic some of these people cut. And Drew is actually Drew's a total like genius with that shit. So he does it like he knows what he's doing, and he does it very safely, and he's been doing it for years. But you know, sometimes at 55, I'd go in there. I come in the next day, I'm like 168, 166, and the guy I'm fighting is 190. Like dead serious. That shit is very typical, and that's a big difference. 20 pounds is a big difference in an ass whipping contest. So.
Yeah, and Bellator actually has a rule now. They weigh you the next day, and you're not allowed to be like. So if me weighing in at 145, 146 at the most, you can't be more than 159 the next day. So they weigh you right before you fight, and you're not allowed to excel that, I guess, or you can't fight at that weight class. So I think we're all
they just force you up to the next weight class. Yeah. I've got one of my guys. I fought for Bellator a couple times, and some of my guys have been in Bellator. I actually like that. You know, we fought at the Mohegan Sun. I can't remember the guy's name that runs the Mohegan Sun Council, but he's been involved in fighting forever, and he's really, really strict about cutting and rehydration. And that's who they use for, like, if they go to London, they use him to sanction and do everything. So they trust his opinion a lot. And at the end of the day, man, they're just looking out for our safety. You know what I mean? So, because fighters, man, you know, you got to be really careful about letting us make our own decisions, because I'll fight anybody in any weight class for 32 cents in a Slim Jim. So, like, I need people to help me not be an idiot, you know?
The coach always has to make that rule for me. I'm always yeah, let's do it. I'll fight him. My coach is like, hold your roll. You've only been doing this for so long. Calm down.
When I first got a manager, that's how he got me. He was like, hey, I want to manage you. I was like, I don't need a manager. He's like, have you ever said no to a fight? And I was like, no. He's like, you need a fucking manager.
That's awesome.
Dude, I got called when I used to fight for Titan. I got called. They called me up and they were like, hey, crazy question, but would you be willing to main event in Titan against Shinya Aoki? And I was like, fuck yeah. And they're like, you'll take it? I was like, yeah. They're like, no one wants to take it. I was like, dude, I'll fucking take it. I'd love to. I was like, I got a smile on my face, blah, blah, blah. We talk. We hang up the phone. Fucking phone rings back and right away again. I was like, oh, shit. I answer, and he was like, hey, man, you know, it's the actual Joe Kelly at the time was the owner of Titan. He doesn't own it anymore. But he was like, hey, man, just some advice, because I manage fighters too. You know, you need to talk about price before you agree to fight, because we never even talked about money. So I just, like, that's how bad I was about shit. Like, I was like,
that's awesome.
I've done the same thing. I didn't even ask. I was just like, yeah. And he's like, well, you're going to ask, like, how much you're going to get? And I'm like, sure.
Same thing. I did the same thing with Bellator is when I fought Bubba Jenkins. You know, I knew right away I never wrestled, but I'm a big wrestling fan. And I wrestle my ass off now. And so, like, I know Bubba Jenkins is a Division I national champion. And so the second they said it, I was like, I'll do it. I was like fucking so pumped. And then I didn't talk about money, and I know they lowballed my ass on that shit, because that's why you gotta have management, man. You gotta have it.
Yeah. I just got management actually recently. This past year is the first time I've had management. So I mean, it's still fairly new.
You know what you ought to do? You should do what I used to do is just call people yourself, but tell them that you're your manager. I used to be like, yeah, this is Jim. I'm Joe Wilkes' manager. He's the shit. He's going to need I'm dead serious, because the problem is that you can't tell people that you're good. You can't go, you should use me and pay me. I'm really good. But if you have a third party, just one third party, even if you're like, you should use him. He's good. You're like, you're right. He's good. I was my own fake manager for a couple of years.
That's awesome.
So you were taking everything. Yeah, I get in there and whoop his ass. Yeah.
I was taking everything. I was also getting myself sponsors. Like, dude, you can't talk yourself up. You just sound like an asshole. But I was talking myself up as this imaginary third manager. Like, you wouldn't believe it. Good looking tattoos.
So you kind of took your advice that you did. You take every fight as your own manager. It's like.
Right. Dude, I'm so bad at turning down fights. Like my manager that I had for years, he got out of the game. He's actually like really big in the CBD game now. He just doesn't have time for like fight stuff anymore. And now I'm right back to where I've been. I haven't said no to a fight ever. I still haven't. Like I tried to retire a couple of years ago. I was like, man, I own 2 businesses. Life's good. I don't need to keep doing this. First phone call, I'll take it. You know, like so they're gonna have to someone's gonna have to force me to stop fighting at some point, or I'll be fighting in my 50s. I swear.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, I'm not gonna stop fighting until I can't.
Yeah, so I'll have to be physically unable. You know, I just turned 38, and I got this before the bare knuckle thing got called off last month. I was in the goodest shape as I was when I was 25, you know, and I'm healthy. So I was like, fuck it. What the fuck am I doing? Like, it's so funny with like age. Age is something that just gets like beat into our head, but you don't have to listen to any of that shit. Dude, I like when I look back on this, I know it was the early days, and I'm not positive on this, so if I'm wrong, I don't care. But I think that Randy Couture's first MMA fight, he was either like 34 or 35 years old. His very first fight. Same thing, Joe Warren. Joe Warren, the first time he put on gloves was in Pride, and he was in his like mid 30s.
See, I'm not too old.
Like, these guys have careers, you know. Like I just think that it's mental, and people are like, I think I'm old because people tell me I'm old. Man, I'm immature and I feel young, so let's roll. That's what
He's not 29.
I know. I was just going to say that.
I was like,
I'm looking at him right now. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that look on your face is like, what?
he's 29.
Oh, not 29.
What do you got coming up in your future? Let's just say COVID ends right now. Thanks to Florida, it ends right now, and everybody comes here to Florida. What you got coming up?
As soon as they tell me I'm fighting, like tomorrow, let's fight. Like I'm ready. I'm so ready to get in there.
Nice. So you've been doing a lot of just home training. Just trying to keep in the shape.
Yeah, luckily my coaches are still working one-on-one, so either at my house, their house, or wherever is allowed. The gym itself is closed. It sucks not having the people to train with.
Mm-hmm.
But
you may or may not have snuck out to a gym.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
I wish I could sneak to a barbershop right now, but I can't find one.
Exactly.
You could call them, see if they're doing the home. They're coming by from town. I know some of them are doing that. They might not say they are, but they're fucking doing it.
I'm grown. I got the quarantine mullet. I'm bringing mullet.
So your hair color, is it determined on how you feeling for the fight, or you just that's the other question. I'm looking at different hair colors in your modeling pictures. It's just how you feeling?
I just change it up all the time. I get sick of things really quick, so I just switch to a new thing.
That's hot. I like that. That's cool.
Nice. Well, yes, I said it. Yeah, but I'm checking it here. Yep. So we're just wrapping it up, because I'm looking at the time. I'm like, I know you got your son, coming over to the house here shortly. So we want to make sure that you're not tied up for that. But I want to really thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
Is there right now is just any fight gear, anybody that you want to give a shout out to, make sure they get some exposure, talk about it, so the floor is yours. Just let them know about what you've got going on.
All right. Are you still putting up the link for the sponsors by chance? So I know who to.
Yep, I'll put those up for you.
All right. So all the sponsors that are there from the beginning, B&L Tires, my coach, of course, my team, they have been helping me through this crazy mess as well. So I really appreciate them. They're always there. My sports management, Relentless Sports Management. You guys are awesome. I appreciate everything that you've done. I can't wait to get back in there. Bellator has been extremely awesome so far. So as soon as this mess is over with, I'm ready to go.
Cool. And then, do you have any fight? Do you have your own gear or site, that people can go to, support you as well?
Fightwear, they provide most of my fight gear. There's other things that I need that they don't provide yet, but they're getting on it. They're getting all my fight gear with my Black Widow Borga brand. So
I was just gonna say, you got to have the Black Widow, fight gear, that brand, for you right there. So, but hey, Jessica, I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much. I mean, if you know anybody, like I said, in your circle, that would like to come on, like I said, send them our way. I mean, we'd love to talk to them. Yes, I said, hopefully, not to, like I said, it wasn't going to be painful. It was going to be a pretty painful,
awesome. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, thank you so much. Again, like I said, if we ever, you're welcome to come by anytime.
Anytime.
Like I said, if something's coming on, like I said, you got a fight coming up, just hit us up, say, hey, can I come on the show and promote? And like I said, we'll have you on.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
So thank you again. Have a great night. Tell Steve, good luck on staying 29.
I keep him young, okay?
All right, there we go. Yeah. Have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, bye. All right. We lost Chris.
Oh, we lost Chris. Uh-oh.
Right.
Bye, Chris.
Yeah.
Still here.
So he's back.
I'm still here. That was
right.
an awesome interview.
There we go.
This episode has been brought to you by Broad's Beard Care Premium. all natural
Homemade,
ingredients.
all natural.
Winter Garden, Florida. Go to brotsbeardcare.com, use promo code 3beards with a capital B, get 20% off, free shipping. Amazing stuff. Beard soap. That bar lasts forever. I bought that thing in September. It still looks like I haven't even used it.
I think someone stole mine because mine disappeared, and that really pisses me off.
That's probably your kids.
Yeah, he probably flushed it down the toilet.
That probably, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'm gonna call him for some more beard soap and probably a comb soon. So.
Yeah, like I said, Joe, we're gonna have to see about getting him something here. He's got the beard going on pretty good now.
He's growing it.
Yeah. Nancy Burke, check her out, 407-923-2898.
Make sure you mention 3 Beards. You get 15% off too.
So we were saying, if you're in the Central Florida area, the cake's going to look amazing when it gets to you. If you're out of the state of Florida, it's going to taste great, but it may not look like the picture.
May not look great.
But if you're trying to cut, it's not the best because you're going to keep eating the whole cake. I can attest to that. You see this? So thankfully, I don't live at the home anymore.
That body has been brought to you by pancakes.
Pretty much, unfortunately.
Awesome. Joe, as usual, thank you again for coming on on these things. Where can people find out more about you, sir?
So if you go to Pornhub Premium / you'll see all my latest action.
Oh my God.
Hey guys, thanks a lot, man. I love doing this kind of stuff. I don't shy away from any kind of media stuff. So I've jumped on a couple times recently and anytime, and I think you guys do a really good job. So
thank you.
I don't know how you guys started with the MMA stuff, but you're doing a hell of a job, and I like the it's like a different angle, right? Like I'm very my questions are very fight minded, but your guys is like, since you're not actually fighters, like I think your questions are very real, and it makes a really interesting podcast. It's I'm a fan for sure.
Yeah. It's a daily struggle to make sure it doesn't sound like an idiot question. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
The times I go like this, it's like I bounce off. It's like, this is going to sound retarded. All right, I'm going to go with it.
I have a journalism background, and interviewing is not something super easy. And I had to do it when I was commentating for years too, MMA fights. We do the interviews, pre-fight interviews, and then I do the post-fight interviews in the cage. And a lot of people are like exactly what you said. If you got to get rid of that, is this question stupid thing, and just ask questions. You know what I mean? And you guys do a hell of a job of that.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate it.
Hey, don't worry. We in the mail right now is a 3 Beards podcast T-shirt because yours disappeared. So don't worry.
We're gonna get you.
I didn't. If I would have known she had a boyfriend, I would have kept my shirt on.
you gave free preview.
I didn't know. I was trying to show off.
I'm about to start boycotting the podcast. I can't wear a tank top, but I guess can wear no shirt. So I'm boycotting. As officially today, I'm
until you start fighting. I don't think you can do anything.
I got a 1-pack.
I haven't worn a shirt or underwear for most of this quarantine.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
We appreciate you getting your pants on for this one, especially last episode when the phone fell. It was not an MA rating, so
that's awesome.
Awesome, sir. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Go to YouTube, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Yep. Go to Facebook, 3 Beards Podcast. We both have the group and the page. Go to Fight Mixer. We also have a group there that's deals around with this show, especially. Like I said, share it to everybody, please. Get this thing out there. Help us grow, get the name out. And 3beardspodcast.com. Go there, check. We do have some gear. We're going to work on getting some more stuff in there. But please, any support. Hopefully soon we'll have Patreon out there too, so that anybody wants to throw money out there, because money helps make things look a little bit sharper. And so the more that we get there, the better things will get. So right now, I said, I like where it's going. And I'm really happy that we've, made friends like yourself, Joe. I really appreciate it, sir.
It's fun.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah. And all the, I'm actually, I need to be a lot better. I'm learning to be better about the social media promotion, everything like that for my own businesses. But yeah, I'll shout you guys out too. I'm pretty decently known, especially in the fight community in the Midwest. Try to get you guys some love.
Well, appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you.
Well, thanks again, Jessica. Thanks again for coming on. Debbie for getting us in touch with her. Joe, as always, like I said, we'll definitely be in touch again. Because like I said, it's been fun having you on, sir. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great night, everybody. Take it. We will see you Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yep.
Adios.